And here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. My name is Gerard, joined by my little bro, Alex, and usually my baby bro from another mother, JR. However, he's still captured by the Cybertrucks. However, we are the creators and the hosts of the GAJ podcast, so thanks for checking us out. Okay, I'm traveling again this week, so this is going to be a little bit of a shit show, but I think we'll be all right. So once again, if you've been here before, welcome back. We love having you. If this is your first time with us, thanks so much for stopping by and checking us out. Hopefully you like what you hear, and maybe might even consider being part of our lovely subscriber group. We are available on YouTube and Spotify, so you can find us there, and you're more than welcome to provide any sort of comments, suggestions, ideas. We are open to it all. All right, getting into it. Oh, I gotta scroll to the top. I mentioned JR is usually part of the crew. However, negotiations for his release have kind of come to a standstill for the time being. We're still trying to open it up, and we hope to have JR join the squad again here soon.
The Cybertrucks won't let him go until they find out who will be the next president of the United States.
Yeah,
or I don't know.
They're trying to decide if we're gonna have somebody who's gonna build a wall blocking them from coming in from Cybertrucklandia, or
yeah, and he'll make Cybertrucklandia pay for the wall.
Anyway, yeah. So if you've been with us before, you know that he has been captive for a little while, but we're working on it. We're at a little standstill right now, but rest assured, we are going to keep trying, and we won't stop until we get JR back. So yeah. You new subscribers, again, we'd love to have you comment. If this is your first time, we'd love to see a wavy emoji so we can shout you out if you're okay with that. And if you really like participating, consider taking on the Ashley Cameo Challenge. If you see my lovely fiance join the podcast at any point in time during the show, shout at her. Tell her hi, Ashley, and maybe even include a timestamp if you want to be the first to shout her out.
Does that mean no one's ever taken on the Ashley Cameo Challenge yet?
That means nobody's ever taken on the Ashley Cameo Challenge. It's supposed to be a weekly thing, but we're not there yet. So it is what it is. It's all good. Hey, anyway, if you haven't noticed by the title in the heading, I guess I didn't show it, and my background. Oh, can you see it? I don't know. We have a real logo. I mean, we had a real logo before, but this one looks kind of cool. This one looks a little more refined. If you guys have done logos before, you probably can tell how we came up with this, but whatever. It's definitely a step up from where we were. We'll keep working on it, but we're going to roll with this one for a little bit. Maybe even make some cool t-shirts. I don't know. We'll see. You know what? If and when we hit, let's call it 100 subscribers, we'll come out with some t-shirts, do a little raffle, and then sell the rest. Probably just a cost. I'm not trying to profit off of gear yet, but yeah, we have a logo. Let us know what you think. Is it dumb? Should we go back to the old one? Should we keep working on it? Or should we just put ourselves out of our misery? Let us know. Let us know what you think. All right. So normally we roll into a segment that Alex doesn't know this yet, but I'm changing up a little bit. It used to be called What's for Dinner. I'm changing it to Mom's Spaghetti. And I want to change the format of the segment a little bit in that instead of us just rattling off what we had for dinner tonight, I'd like to, one, share something interesting we've encountered food related over the last week, and invite you, our audience, to contribute also. Something that you tried for the first time that was interesting, or a cool, unique recipe that you found, whatever. I like food. Eating is my favorite pastime, and I'd like to keep it as part of the show. And instead of just telling you what I had for dinner, because half the time it's pretty fucking boring, let's keep it a little more interesting. So anyway, getting into Mom Spaghetti. Alex, I know this is a little bit on the spot, but did you have anything cool in the last week, or did you encounter anything, or maybe is there something that you are having a hankering for that you are hoping to partake in the near future?
Something interesting is that I put expired sriracha sauce on everything now because I don't want to buy any other sauce.
You know what?
Good
though?
For a year.
Condiments. If any of you comment that you've never used expired condiments, I'm going to call you a liar. But anyway, I invite it because it could be fun banter. I use expired condiments all the time, quite frankly. The mayo in my office.
Mayo might be not one.
I think the mayo's good. The mayo's good. I think the mustard. The mustard got to like a few months expired. I finished it. It's mustard. It's got vinegar and whatever.
It's not something I ate, but I spent much of Saturday watching videos on Chicago style tavern style Chicago pizza. Tavern style being thin crust.
Yeah, kind of. It's a thin crust. It's not. It's not a deep dish.
It almost made me cry because pizza here in Southern California is so bad. P.S. The Yankees just scored again.
By the way, it's Tuesday, so we're watching. We both have Game 4 on, and the Yankees finally showed up because they didn't really show up in the first 3 games. I think a good head first slide into home plate underneath the catcher's tag.
It was not a good throw.
But anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Side note: Yankees are up 7-4 in the 8th inning of Game 4. Happy Tuesday. Since we release on Thursday, I know I'm not spoiling it for anybody. I would hope anyway, if you like live sports. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to Mom Spaghetti. I had something interesting this weekend, and I'm about to show it to you because I don't remember if you like this or not, but I do. So
next week I'm gonna get a picture of my expired sriracha sauce to show.
It
might be all gone by then, though.
You should definitely do that. That would be pretty awesome. So,
it's all the lid is all crusty and gross looking. Yeah, it looks so sanitary.
So check this out. Do you remember this stuff? The label kind of covers it up. I didn't realize that.
Home run! Sorry.
The Yankees. Ooh, putting up a spot.
That's a 3-run dinger.
They had in case you're wondering, they had a grand slam earlier, a solo home run, and they just
this is a 3-runner.
Put up
2-runner.
4 runs this inning, I think. So they're coming to play.
LA fans might be happy tomorrow.
I ain't heard no fat lady. If you don't know that reference.
No joke, though. The Dodgers are going to win this.
Joke, people.
The Dodgers are going to win this, but just not tonight.
Yeah, I don't see the Dodgers losing 4 in a row, to be perfectly honest. That's my prediction. But do you remember these Filipino candies, dude?
Is it the sugar? Is it the Pulverone?
No, this is Pulverone. I didn't get that because I've been eating too much candy. But this is it's like they're called Torons. It's like nougat inside like the rice paper.
Are you gonna put a picture up?
Oh, can you not see it? Am I not sharing? Oops. Pardon my. Let me try that again. There we go.
Oh, that's where you eat the paper too, right?
You eat the paper. It's rice paper, people. It's not paper.
When I was a kid, I thought it was paper. No, just told to eat it.
Yep. It's pretty delicious, though. So if you're wondering if you're not Filipino and or you've just never had this before, I guess I keep doing that. It's kind of like the paper is kind of comparable to like communion wafers in church, especially if you've been to like a Catholic mass. The little communion wafers. It's like a really thin version of a communion wafer. That's kind of what I equate it to. But the way I eat is I typically eat the ends first because it's just the rice paper, and then the middle has this delicious like nougat is all I can think of to describe it. But it is so good. So good. It's like this nougat made with like this one is like sugar candy and cashew nuts. It is delicious. And I finished it all in the same day.
Yep.
So yeah.
Masterclass in getting diabetes.
Call me a fat kid. I'm not even mad at it about it. But yeah. All right, Mom Spaghetti. Oh, I should show this too. Let me come back here. Since we're talking about, calling the segment Mom Spaghetti, we gotta show what Mom had for dinner. Dude, how does this make you feel? This is, for those of you that are not in the know, this is lechon kawale, which is basically pork belly, fried pork belly, lumpia, which are Filipino egg rolls. Typically, it's like pork and vegetables wrapped in
lumpia Shanghai. If you order lumpia, you're gonna get some cold shit or it's only vegetables. Lumpia Shanghai's got the meat in it.
It's the best.
Fried.
It's usually pork. And then this is mang tomas. This is an all-purpose sauce. You should go to the Asian store, look for mang tomas, and if you don't get fried pork belly, put it on your fried chicken. It's freaking delicious. You won't regret it. So yeah. So anyway, Mom, thanks for the contribution once again. I am now hungry for lechon and lumpia. And then Ashley went with a dinner that I particularly like, and we actually talked about it in one of our first episodes. Breakfast for dinner, baby. She made the pancakes, the eggs, the sausage, and the bacon. And it was good. They were Kodiak cakes, so they're not quite as good as like just pure like just buttermilk pancakes, but Kodiak cakes are a little healthier for you. I think this was turkey or chicken sausage, also healthier for you. But that's normal bacon and normal eggs, I guess. So yeah, breakfast for dinner. So a couple questions for you out there in our audience. One, have you ever had lechon kawale or lumpia? Let us know what you think. Or Filipino candy. If you had Filipino candy, what have you had and what did you think of it? Secondly, breakfast for dinner. Yes or no? I know what Alex's answer is. I know what my answer is. And I know what JR's answer is. I'd like to know what your answer is. So put it down in the comments. Anyway, that is Mom Spaghetti. If you would like to contribute your interesting food ideas, meals, whatever, send them on in. We'd love to share, and we'd love to shout you out if you'd like us to do that. All right.
Diego just scored again on Aaron Judge single.
What's
11-4.
Oh, yeah.
Scored again.
Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to turn the TV so I can see a little bit better. But yeah, we're about to get on that. So out and about, Alex, did you do anything cool in the last week?
Football season. So watching Ohio State, watching the Bears, watching a little MMA and Muay Thai fights.
Ooh, okay.
Ohio State this week is a bigger week because we're playing Penn State because they're ranked number 3 while we're ranked number 4. As a side note, Penn State just kick 2 players off that team for rape. And this something that happened last week. Given the backstory is not funny. It's not something to amuse people. However, what comes out of it can be a little humorous because we have, Gerard, are you frozen?
I'm frozen. Can you hear me? Because you're frozen for me.
You're back on.
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
On the bright side, I can still hear the music.
Oh, cool. Me too. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. I was about to text you that I can still hear you.
All right, so...
Anyway, sorry, folks. That's kind of one of the perils of traveling. Sometimes you don't have the best internet connection.
So something that's a little humorous over this non-funny situation is the last week before the games, there was a typical press conference that schools and teams have, where you have Coach James Franklin addressing the media. He goes up to the podium. He's told to back away from the podium. You have Penn State's public relations person come up and say, "This is an ongoing investigation. We will not be fielding any questions regarding it." Okay? Okay.
What was the incident?
2 players got kicked out the team for rape.
Oh, yikes. So wow.
All right, let's go back to we got to backtrack now. So James Franklin, coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions football team, goes back to the podium and says, "Are there any questions?" First question asked by a female. This is a typical before the game press conference. First question. Coach Franklin, did you know that these guys had raped women? Coach James Franklin, back away from the podium. Back up to the podium. Penn State's public relations guy again. He says, "Once again, this is an ongoing investigation. We will not be fielding any questions." James Franklin goes up back to the podium, and he has like this chipper swag when he goes, "Hi guys." Just, the clip ends. I saw that. Need to look that up. I saw that on one of the college football TV shows I watch on YouTube, and it's funny to watch. The background's not funny because 2 players.
It's not. We're not making fun of the situation, guys. But the way it was handled and the memes that came out is what Alex is talking about.
On the bright side, there's 2 players that kicked off the team. They can still run for president.
That's true.
Going to...
here's the thing.
Is it raining? You're frozen. God, I love Wi-Fi at hotels.
Yep, Wi-Fi at hotels. It's hard in any public-facing venue, but I think we need to keep in mind that these kids still have the right to be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So I think that's why the PR person is up there saying there's an ongoing investigation. I'm sure it's kind of weird because I have a feeling they probably stopped short of saying they're innocent until proven guilty because it's a bad look if they are found guilty down the road. I'd like to see them say they are suspended until further notice, rather than just kicking them off the team. But also, there are player conduct rules, and if you are adhering to those player conduct rules, you typically don't find yourself in those situations. So there's something to be said about that.
Penn State does not have a good record when it comes to sexual assault.
Nope, they sure don't. But they do have a good football program, and I am a little worried because Nebraska gave us a run for our money. However, historically, and from my point of view, Nebraska and Wisconsin, I would say, as Buckeyes fans, typically give us a hard time no matter what. It doesn't matter what their record is, how bad it is, how good it is. They typically give us a hard time, and It makes me nervous every single time we're getting ready to play either one of them.
I think we just
But-
played like shit against Nebraska, against freaking. They call him Fat Mahomes because he's a Patrick Mahomes cosplayer.
Yeah, I heard that.
Dylan
Yeah.
Raiola. He's gonna be good eventually. I think he's just a true freshman, so he's gonna make freshman mistakes. That's why Ohio State doesn't start true freshmen, because he said true freshmen make freshman mistakes, and that's why Wisconsin has the record that they have. He didn't do good against Ohio State. Ohio State did shit.
Yeah, I heard Will Howard was not very sharp. I didn't get to watch the game.
Will Howard is fine. He does what
Yeah.
Will Howard does. It's just that the run game wasn't good.
Yeah, no, I just heard he made a
was
few
okay.
mistakes, and I'm sure. Yeah, if other elements of the team game aren't good, then he's a quarterback. He's bound to make mistakes.
Will Howard is
turning
playing
this
like we expect
background
Will
off.
Howard to play. So,
Do you like the
can't
background
say-
behind me? Is it weird? By the way, should I just turn it off?
I mean, obviously, it's not going to make a difference if you listen on Spotify, but if you're watching on YouTube,
true.
anytime you have a background, you tend to disappear sometimes. That's also JR. That's me. It's just the way the software
Yeah. I totally agree.
You get a little ghost
Um,
effect.
Anyway, we can keep going. I was just curious because I think I'm going to turn it off.
So we don't have to discuss, because I don't want to, the Hail Mary to end the Bears game.
I don't.
But I will say that Hail Mary was caught by wide receiver Noah Brown, who played for Ohio State, including the national
That's why I
championship
knew that
team.
name.
And a lot of the receiving yardage in that game for the Commanders was thrown to Terry McLaurin, wide receiver who played for Ohio State.
Go Buckeyes! I did notice that he had a very good game, and
Well, Terry
pretty proud
McLaurin
of that.
Terry McLaurin is a good wide receiver, and they have a good quarterback throwing to Terry McLaurin. So that's that.
So basically, what we're talking about is the Bears blowing it against the Commanders. If you like football and haven't heard about it, you probably don't like football. It was a tough one. It was a tough one. Hence my my tag for this week: recovering loyal fan of the Bears.
I don't know. I also started watching. Well, of course, I'm watching Penguin. Penguin just consistently delivers on the level of a Breaking Bad type show or a Sopranos type show. That show's ridiculous. Did start watching the new season of Shrinking, which was a huge surprise to me a couple of years ago because of how good it is. It's on Apple TV Plus Max, whatever it's called. It is very comparable to Ted Lasso as far as how good it is. It's got the wholesomeness. It has the humor where you see Ted Lasso has that, but Ted Lasso is more on the wholesome side. Shrinking's more on the humor side, but it has both. And it's just, the writing is fantastic. The characters are great. It's, the only thing is, though, when I watched the first season, I was late to the game. So I started watching it after all the shows had dropped because it's a weekly drop. So I got to binge it. And oh man, that was my entire weekend that weekend.
Man,
But,
I like those weekends where you pick a show and you just binge the shit out of it.
Yeah, but then you also don't get any exercise or any sun or anything like that. But I started watching this season in the third episode. So I got caught to the third episode. I didn't even know the new episodes drop. I better check because I'm on that thing. Shrinking's good.
Shrinking. I'm gonna write that down because I'm curious.
Apple has some good shows on. You just gotta do like a 2-month subscription to it, or you get all the shows down that you don't want. Well, you got freaking three seasons of Ted Lasso. That's gonna take that's gonna be a good watch. You have a season and a half of Shrinking. You have the morning show, which is 3 seasons. And I love For All Mankind, and that's like 5 or 6 seasons so far. I think it's 5 seasons.
Those are all on Apple TV.
Yeah, and there are other shows out there that people like that I haven't watched yet, or I watched and I offboarded, but a lot of people like. But those are the ones that I particularly got onto. In TV viewing sadness, there was no new SNL this past week. I was pretty upset.
I didn't know that.
I need the weekly SNL kick.
Yeah,
But,
man, that's a good pickup. It's a good pickup for sure.
They just took a week off because they're back this week as we are approaching the election. So they're probably gonna come out in full force. I don't know what they can mimic so far. You can mimic Joe Rogan's podcast. You can mimic the Madison Square Garden rally. You can mimic the Houston rally. You can talk about Puerto Ricans. You can talk about
oh my gosh,
more
so
Haitians.
I've got a little bit about all these.
That picture almost got tagged. Sorry, watching the game. At the side of my eye.
I got you. So, in case you're wondering,
for what I reacted to, the Yankees pitcher pitched the ball. The Dodgers batter hit the ball straight back at him. It almost hit him.
That's by the way, if you've ever been in that position, it's kind of scary.
And the camera angle was perfect because it was like right behind the pitcher. So you got to see it. You got to see it coming at you.
It's one of those, you would have known if I was watching it at that moment in time because I would have flinched.
That's what I did.
So Alex knows this. I used to be a pitcher growing up when I was still playing baseball.
The catcher, if you know what I mean.
I was the pitcher. But if you've ever been a baseball pitcher before, you know that there are a lot of pitchers that kind of fall off balance when they're throwing the ball home, when they're throwing a pitch. So when you have a screaming comebacker coming at you, it can be a scary feeling because especially if you're off balance and have a very small chance of being able to get a glove in front of it. It can be scary. Oh, okay. Anyway, it is, I do want to put that out there because we did mention it. It is, as of this recording, 1 week till Election Day. So make sure you mark it on your calendars. That's Tuesday next week, November 5th.
Game over.
Game over, yep. Oh, I think I'm a few seconds ahead of you. So the Yankees are still alive. It's 1 week till Election Day. Mark it on your calendars because if you want to have a say in what happens next, make sure to get out there and vote. If you know what, I also respect it if you actively choose not to vote. If you decide you're just not informed enough and there's too much that you don't know and you don't want to vote either way, I respect that. You still can't complain about what happens. I am one of those people that
just a research the electoral college because you're like, well, my vote wouldn't have mattered in many regions.
Yeah, and it is what it is. I think if you actively choose not to vote because, I think a lot of people are still on the fence about which way they're going to go because they don't really particularly care for either candidate or the personalities, even if maybe they like the issue or, support the position on issues. I don't know. But get out there and vote if you are traveling, which I have already told one of my techs that works for me to make sure he gets that taken care of when he gets home on Friday because he's on the road this week. He's going to be on the road for me next week too, so I told him to make sure that he carves out some time when he gets back on Friday to go do his absentee voting if he chooses to vote. But leading up to election week, the candidates are out. Did you? So
all right, so
Trump had a rally.
Gotta get us off my chest.
Garden.
Do people not know how fucking tariffs work? I was taught this in high school, and it seems like people don't understand. Given I haven't been in high school in 20-some years, it seems like people don't really understand how tariffs work. Motherfuckers, here we go. Tariffs. This is a Bears helmet. When you increase tariffs, the American company pays it. And I said calculate tariffs, deal with HTS codes, deal with importing from overseas, especially China. Let's just try to illustrate this shit because I'm fucking sick of hearing about it. Because people don't know what the fuck they're saying. Let's say pre-2016, I'm importing a Little Bears helmet. Tariff is 3%. So if I have a full shipment, which is probably going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars of Little Bears helmets, however much that cost, I paid an additional 3% to the U.S. government. Okay?
As an American company.
China doesn't do it.
As
Say
the
another
American
product.
company
As a
importing the
company,
product, not the manufacturer in China shipping the product in.
Say I have another product I'm bringing in. I'm bringing in Superman. I'm bringing a whole container of Superman. What's the tariff on that? And I'm just making these up off the top of my head as far as just for illustrative purposes. Tariff on Superman from China, 7%. So 3% for the Bears helmet, 7% for Superman. So 7% for 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, however much the shipment costs. 7% of that on top of what you pay for the product. What you pay for the product goes to the manufacturer, then give to you. 7% of that $100,000 or whatever it was goes to the U.S. government. Now, say I'm bringing in Homer Simpson. This one's going to be a doozy because this is actually a real life example I had to do. It was for backpacks. Homer Simpson, much higher. 12.5% tariff. This is back in, say, 2016. So let's say 2015. So $100,000, $200,000, however much product you're bringing in, that goes to the Chinese manufacturer that made Homer Simpson for you. 12.5% of that $100,000 goes to the United States government. Now, what happened in, was it 2017, 2018? Donald Trump was president. He did a blanket tariff over Chinese goods from China for 25% on top of the normal tariffs. 25% means that this Bears helmet is 3% plus 25%. That's 28%. Superman, 7% plus 25%. You're not paying 32% tariffs to the U.S. government. Homer Simpson, this is actually a backpack example. I had to talk to people about backpack tariffs. 12.5% plus the blanket 25% Trump tariff. Yes, I call it Trump tariff because I didn't want people calling it the Alex tariff when I was working for that company. Backpacks were 37% tariffs. 37%. That's fucking high. That goes to the United States government. China does not pay it. It does not go to China. What happens? What happened during that time? Yes, a lot of that cost gets passed on to the customers. What does that lead to? It's called inflation. The left knows that. Democrats know that. What are Democrats not saying? Companies don't always pass on the full burden of that tariff to the customers. They absorb it, which means they cut American jobs.
Economics.
On the bright side, it does create jobs for Chinese companies.
Yeah, tariffs don't punish the country that's sending a product over here. It punishes the companies that are buying that product to sell in the United States.
So when a presidential candidate says that he's going to bring down inflation by imposing a 60% tax on the most offensive countries, that means that country doesn't pay shit. American companies pay it, and that's going to lead to higher prices and probably lost jobs. So anyone that says there's a plan that includes tariffs that's going to lower prices might want to look into that. I started to doubt myself, saying, do I just not understand tariffs right, even though I worked with it? But no, I watched other people say, yeah, dude. Gerard, we lost you again. I think the government hears me talking about tariffs, and they are not happy. You're going to watch me play with Superman. So if you are listening on Spotify or if you're watching on YouTube right now, we're going through some technical difficulties here at the GAJ podcast. I don't even know if you can hear me. I may be just talking in the ether. I don't know if StreamYard is recording this part. And we've fully lost Gerard. It's just me on screen. You can see my name there, Alex. You can see there my title. It is Poop. Why? Because I poop a lot. And it's kind of what I'm known for. So anyways, what are we going to talk about while I'm here alone? Let's see. I might start hitting the sauna again. Very much into fitness for middle-aged people. Kind of a health and wellness for middle-aged people, which includes getting a good recovery habit. I've been increasing my sleep. Well, I'm sorry. I've been trying to increase my sleep, which has not been doing well. Doing a lot of stretching, but doing a lot of foam rolling. And now I'm thinking about hitting the sauna because it's just part of the recovery thing. And it's not 100 degrees here anymore.
So
I have no idea. I have no idea what was recording. So I was just kind of babbling on about whatever.
I am out and about right now. I'm traveling, so I'm not sure if you were hearing me, if you were hearing Alex, or just hearing dead air. Either way, I apologize. This is not obviously a full-time gig for us. It's not a gig at all, a paying gig at all. It's just something fun we do, and we hope you enjoy it. And hopefully you are understanding of us having our technical difficulties. But Alex was exercising. I actually finally got back into the gym, aka the fitness center here in the hotel tonight. It was my first time working out in probably about a month and a half. Close to it. Mainly because I popped my quad about 6 weeks ago. Basically, what it is it's a tear. It wasn't a severe tear that I needed surgery, but it was severe enough that I haven't been able to. For 3 weeks, I wasn't able to run at all. The last 2 weeks, I was able to kind of jog, but I've actually haven't been able to run full speed in 6 weeks. Tonight was the fastest I ran. I got on a treadmill and it got up to about 9 miles an hour. So I'll take that as a win. But we're going to keep working on it. So now that softball's over, I'm kind of getting started on getting back in the gym because, as any of you that have been with us before know, I am getting married in May. And I also need to rehab not only my quad, but my shoulder. I've got something going on with my rotator in my left shoulder. So I'm working on that. In the meantime, we're also talking about, Alex is talking about deals with Apple TV. We're actually talking about canceling some streaming services for the time being.
Churn and burn. Churn and burn is kind of the modern trend. And we are frozen again.
Yep, you froze up. I froze up. I had the spinning wheel of death for a minute, but yeah, we're working on paying for a wedding and a down payment on a house. So we're not sure if we're going to do that before the wedding, or we're either going to do it here very soon or wait till after the wedding. I'm actually meeting with my landlord this week to hopefully be able to extend for maybe like 6 months so we can get through the wedding. But we're going to get out of the condo and into our own four walls. So that's the goal. Also finished up with softball. So softball is over for me for the year. And it is now rehab time. So doing that. Anyway, yeah, that's us out and about. We started talking about the Trump rally. Alex, did you watch any of the Trump rally or watch any of the news on it?
I caught clips of it. I mean, I'm not going to watch any rallies. I caught Kamala's in Houston was on Friday, so there's no football that I'm interested in. Trump's was on Sunday. Dude, I'm watching football. I didn't really watch much of Kamala's. It's more like I had it on another TV in the background while I was watching other shit, and I just kind of look over to see what was going on.
Yeah,
Of course,
well,
I saw
honestly, the
clip of it.
train wreck was at Madison Square Garden. Man, it was it was it was it was weird. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces that obviously came up in the news, including like so. First of all, who was there? Hulk Hogan,
He
Tucker
had a little, he had a
Carlson,
little trouble with his signature move. That's a
Hulk Hogan. Yeah,
yeah, that's a clip you see that people are laughing at because you know Hulk
yeah.
Hogan's signature move from when he was younger is that he tear off his shirt. It took him a good like 25 seconds to get.
Well, you know what?
Like, dude,
75-year-old man doing it. I'm not hating on
maybe
him.
you should not do that anymore.
Probably shouldn't do that anymore. But I'm not hating on him for it.
I have a feeling
I think
I have a feeling this pre-cut too.
Of all the things that were said, and man, I'm just gonna put it up there. Tony Hinchcliffe. Yikes, bro. Yikes.
The fallout of that is pretty
Yeesh.
bad because you have people from that side trying to distance themselves from that.
Dude.
But then there's also the it was on a teleprompter, so they reviewed it and they approved him saying it.
Yeah. That's a good point. So, oh man, it's
like,
oh,
how
gosh.
many groups of people are you going to go after? You ready? So you're going after the Puerto Ricans. You're ready going after the Haitians. You went after all women who don't have kids. You've done black people, Latinos. Dude, what?
Not just all women who don't have kids. It's if you don't have kids, you should
Dude,
your vote shouldn't count as much.
We have
which,
1
by
week
the way,
left. Oh, he's going after Filipinos, dude. Oh
You
no,
think
hold
so?
on, stop. No, they went after Malaysians. Samoans and Malaysians. That was
no.
who the fuck was that? The guy who was on Fox News that he has like a girly laugh. No, maybe not have been him. I don't know.
That's Tucker. He's not even on Fox anymore.
I love how you described it as a girly laugh. You're like, no, Tucker.
Yeah, it's funny because so man, even if like you're on board with a lot of the positions that the right takes on certain issues, just it's tough.
And something
It's
that
tough.
a lot of people did not know, and even I wasn't really cognizant of this, is that Puerto Ricans are American citizens that can
Yes,
vote.
they are. I wasn't sure about the voting thing because they're not a state; they are a territory, not even a commonwealth. They're a territory.
Even I didn't
So
know
I'm
that.
not sure how that works, but 100%. I wasn't sure if they. I thought maybe they get to vote. Maybe just they don't. The territory of Puerto Rico doesn't carry as many electoral votes as a lot of other states. That's all I can think of.
But if people from Puerto Rico live in Pennsylvania or Georgia or Michigan,
Yeah,
they vote as
that's the crazy part.
They are normal American citizens.
Whatever Puerto Rican vote they had, they just alienated all of it. All of it. Unless somewhere out there, some of them, yeah, they're like, it's a fucking joke, whatever. Hey, look, I think Tony Hinchcliffe is pretty funny, but it was like, that was a cringe. When I heard that replay, I was like, ooh.
Bad timing, dude. Bad.
I don't think that was the venue for that show.
That's probably the right venue, actually. There's Read the Room and there's Read the Country.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You're in that room, but it's supposed to be speaking to the country. I am one of those. I am very much undecided. That didn't help me sway that way. I'm just gonna put it out there.
You also got to take into account that, and this is kind of surprised me when I started taking a look at politics again after so many decades of not, is that racism is not viewed as bad as it used to. It's that people are like,
no.
Yeah, I think I even heard an undecided voter say this. She said, "Yeah, I think Donald Trump's racist and he's an immoral, but I'm still undecided." I said, "Oh, okay, so racism just isn't as viewed as a bad thing." It's not. I guess also while we're at it, rape isn't either, because obviously we have a candidate that.
Oh gosh, yikes!
How's
I don't
that?
know. I'm not going there with that one. I'm
It's
staying
there.
away from that one.
Yeah,
I will
that's what a lot
say
of people
that
do. They just kind of ignore it, but that's there.
I'm of the kind of my position is there are a lot of different levels of racism.
There's a good kind.
Well, no, look. I mean,
a good kind.
look.
The bad kind.
If you've ever had kind of a disposition about a person because of their race or their ethnicity, that's racism. Is it completely malicious? Maybe not, but it's still racism. If you've ever said, I'm just not attracted to Asian people, that's racism. Whether you like it or not, it's racism. Is it malicious? No, it's just a personal preference. Now, if you're saying,
If you're saying some jobs are black jobs,
well, yes, that's racism. If you're saying black shouldn't be allowed to do something, now we're talking about racism that infringes on somebody's rights, and that's where I start to pick up. Like, okay, that's a no-go for me. Say whatever you want. I'm very much a freedom of speech person, kind of guy. Say whatever the fuck you want. I don't have to agree with it. Say whatever you want. But if you tell me that I can't say something because you don't agree with it, I have an issue with that too.
you can say what you want.
But I think we all, whether we want to admit
don't hide
it or not,
behind some type of image that doesn't expose who you are just because you want to say something racist. That's what
say
we
that
have.
again.
Don't hide behind an avatar or a screen name or something.
Yeah,
You have to deal with the fallout of it.
Yeah. So what Alex is referring to is, so he's not referring to this specifically, but this is an example. This is kind of an analogy. The condominium community that I live in, there's a Facebook group for the community. It's not official, like it's not endorsed by the management group or anything. And people like to put all kinds of bullshit on there. Like, I can't believe this is happening. This is ridiculous. But they put anonymous on it. They don't put their name on it. Like, you're fucking chicken shit. All right. If you can't stand by what you want to say, that you want to say publicly, if you don't want to put your name on it, get the fuck out of here. Don't say it because you're a fucking coward. My opinion. We're getting way too polarizing right now.
So
anyway,
vote if you want to, or don't if you don't want to.
Do your research, guys. Figure out what's important to you. Is it the moral fiber of the candidate? Is it the issues that they're supporting or not supporting? Figure out what is important to you and vote that way. It's your vote. Nobody can tell you that you voted the wrong way.
Learn what tariffs are. Learn how tariffs work.
Hey, look, if you vote your way, no one can tell you you voted wrong just because you didn't vote their way. Vote your conscience, vote your heart. That's all you can do. And in the end, whatever we come up with, that's what we as a country voted for. So whoever comes out as with the higher number of electoral college votes, or what do you call it? A higher number of the electoral college, I can't remember what you call it, but let's support that person. Why not? We all are a part of this country. Why not support whoever we as a country select as our leader? That's all. That's what I have to say about that. Anyway, moving on.
In misogynistic news, Kamala Harris is having a rally at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to finish that. P.S. I stole that joke from tonight's Seth Meyers. Tonight, whatever Seth Meyers' show is, Late Night with Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Someone else wrote the joke, and I was just repeating it because it popped up on Twitter.
So, speaking of Kamala, she had her rally, and I forget. You said was it at the mall in DC?
The one on Friday was in Houston. I only know that because there was no football on Friday night.
So whichever one was on the same day
no
as
football to watch, so I was like, I guess there's a rally on.
Yeah, whichever one was on the same day as Trump's rally at Madison Square Gardens. Tony Hinchcliffe made his joke about Puerto Rico.
Trump's one was on Sunday.
What's that?
Trump's rally was on either Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Either way, there was football on, so I'm not watching it. I'm watching football. Tonight, I think Kamala Harris, I guess she's a... I know this because I watch comedians.
Here we go.
I was going to watch Seth Meyers. She's in Washington, D.C. She's at the...
Glitchy.
Am I glitchy?
But...
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, so because I watched Seth Meyers tonight, I know that Kamala Harris is in Washington, D.C., and because I'm on Twitter right now, they're at... What's that big boner-looking structure in Washington? Is that the Washington...
Washington Monument?
That's probably not the best way for me to describe it. That
like,
elongated...
The tower. Just call it a tower that you can't go up in anymore.
Is it called the Ellipse? They call it the Ellipse.
Yeah.
And then I think it's gonna continue at the mall there, whatever it's called, the National Mall. Which I don't even know what the National Mall is. I guess it's the mall in DC.
She's trying to convey her inner Martin Luther King Jr.
No, I think she just wants to be in DC because.
I thought she was going for some sort of what was it called, the Million Man March or something like that. When Martin Luther King spoke, I have a dream speech.
I don't know.
Anyway,
once again, I learned about this because it was on Seth Meyers tonight.
Got it. So, did you see this though? Tony Hinchcliffe made his joke same night. Bad Bunny came out and endorsed Kamala Harris, VP Harris,
and good old
Bad Bunny, by the way, is
good old Ricky Martin
is a Latino rapper.
I didn't know who Bad Bunny was until he was.
I believe they're all Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, I didn't know who Bad Bunny was until he was on SNL last year. And I said, okay, well, that's Bad Bunny.
I still don't know who he is. I just knew he was a Latino rapper. And I'm sure I've heard his music before, but...
There was another Latino, rapper or musical artist that was at a Trump rally. I forgot his name. Let's call him Jamie, because I don't remember his actual name. So Trump is going to bring him on and says, Jamie's here. Where is she? She's so hot.
Is it a dude?
It's a dude. And the next day, Jamie, whatever his name is, he deleted his endorsement of Donald Trump.
That's funny. Speaking of deleting endorsements, not necessarily deleting an endorsement, but did you hear about this? Bezos, who, as you know,
and we are frozen again.
But I'm glitching again.
Still frozen. I think we might be unfrozen.
I'm unfrozen. You're unfrozen, I hope.
Okay.
Cut off that. You're
deleting posts.
Oh. So speaking of, I'll just repeat that. I'm not sure what you heard, but Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, who now also owns the Wall Street Journal, blocked the Journal.
No, Washington Post.
I mean, Washington Post. You're right. I put the wrong one on there. My bad. That's my fault. The Washington Post, not the Wall Street Journal. I'm sorry. I should. You know what? Let me change that because that's not good. Washington Post. That's better. So Bezos, who not only owns Amazon but the Washington Post, blocked the Post from endorsing VP Harris. The rumor is, the speculation is that he became afraid of the backlash that he could have to endure should former President Donald Trump win the election and become president again. So he blocked the post from endorsing VP Harris. Which, you know what, for VP Harris, if I'm her, well, everybody knows they were going to endorse me. Who cares? It just makes it look worse for them, not me.
I'm not 100%, but I think the LA Times did the same thing.
Yeah, I think there's a few media outlets that are doing that. Kind of garbage, if you ask me. But it is what it is. And we are where we are. My favorite thing right now is that the World Series isn't over. I'd say the Bear is the Chicago Bears, but once again, they blew it. And
who do they play next? Dude, I was so upset over this past Sunday. I haven't even looked at who. I
don't know.
I pretty much just turned off TV and I was like, I'm done watching football for this week.
You know what though? That entire coaching staff needs wins. By the way, how about Eberflus just not even falling on the sword, like the Hail Mary, Tariq Stevenson, back to the ball when the play started. Get it? He had 3 timeouts and didn't use them.
3 timeouts.
By the way, why did we even let Jen Daniels get to where they got to? We should have been playing better defense. Why were we playing so soft and letting them get 17 yards?
It's just bad. I thought it was 30. I think I had 2 plays before the Hail Mary because it's just bad.
Yeah. I think they were 17 yards each. So 30, 35 yards. I don't know. It was terribly coached. I actually watched what's
being a Bears fan and being on Bears Twitter and watching Bears YouTube channels and podcasts. We deserve to lose this one because everyone was going off, going, "Look at us now! We've got a quarterback. We're good." I'm like, dude, we beat the Panthers, we beat the Jaguars, we beat the LA Rams, and everyone was injured. Calm the.
You know what though? I will say this one wasn't on Caleb. This one was on
Caleb was not playing well.
He was no. He played 3 quarters of shit. 3 quarters of shit. But I will say I was pretty impressed with how he pulled together to rally us back in the 4th quarter. I thought they played a pretty strong 4th quarter. The fucking backup center handoff was just stupid at the goal line.
That's why are you Waldron and Eberflus?
Yeah, we have good running backs. We have good tight ends. We have good receivers. Hand it off to any one of them, or just Caleb. Jump over everybody. I don't know. Attempt to. You handed it off to the fucking backup center. Oh, okay. We are at 58 minutes.
The Bears play the Cardinals
off of that
this Sunday, which is
yeah.
They're 4-4. They're a team that, well, you know what? I'd say we should beat them, but
we should have handled the Commanders.
I feel like
with or without Jaden Daniels.
I feel like Arizona's saying, yeah, we should beat the Bears.
Yeah. Everybody's saying we should beat the Bears.
On the bright side,
everybody's saying the Bears and Caleb Williams are fucking overrated shit. And if I wasn't a Bears fan, I'd be saying it. Anyway, all right.
So at least I get to watch.
I
get to watch Marvin Harrison Jr. run around and not get the ball thrown to him this game.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think at this point, people are starting to realize that if they hadn't already, that I'm not mad about the Caleb Williams pick, but it wasn't fucking Justin Fields. It was the fucking coaching staff. It is the coaching staff. That is our biggest fucking problem.
Yep.
And they better figure out how to turn it around right now, because I think just based on how Eberflus in the press conference addressed the Hail Mary and the non-preparation for it, tells me he now realizes he's now feeling the heat from being on the hot seat. He knows that his job is in jeopardy, and not only his, but his entire coaching staff, and rightfully so. They should be on the fucking hot seat. If they can't fucking figure it out this season, They all need to be fired. Quite frankly, as much as I like what Ryan Poles has pulled off, I think he needs to be put on notice too that he's not immune either.
The Bears are falling into
that coaching staff.
The Bulls are falling into the typical Chicago Bears cycle of draft a new quarterback. After his first year, fire all the coaches, including the head coach.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
Get rid of him
after 2
years. Draft a new quarterback. Then after his first year, fire the entire coaching staff. So Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields. It looks like Caleb Williams is going to be the next one to go through that.
That is exactly why, if we were getting rid of Fields, we should have gotten rid of the entire fucking coaching staff, brought in fresh ideas. And I'm not mad about the Caleb pick, but let's might as well have a whole new coaching staff so that we're starting over.
Maybe no one wanted to.
Because Poles did a great job getting weapons, but he did not make the right move keeping the coaching staff that we have.
I'm starting to think no one wanted to be coach of the Chicago Bears, head coach.
That's an unfortunate possibility. Also,
they probably called Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson said, "I'm not leaving Detroit for that."
Yeah, we might win.
You guys are a
show. All right, guys. We are just across the hour mark, so I would like to roll into closing thoughts. I'm going to lead it off this week because 2 very special wishes to put out there. 1, happy anniversary, baby sis and bro-in-law, Chrissy and Paul. They just celebrated the third wedding anniversary. I know better, but I wasn't there. Inside joke. Alex gets it. If you know us, you probably get it too. Anyway, we love you guys. Happy anniversary. Also, well, we'll save the other one for next week because it'll be on the day. So stay with us, guys. Keep coming back. We have some things coming up that we're going to be announcing here in the next couple of weeks that hopefully all 12 of you are excited about. Alex, give us your closing thoughts, and I'll continue. I'll finish it out.
I just like to say that always watch something funny before you go to bed. I like to do.
I think that's a good tip.
This day and age, I like to do the monologue of all the late night guys like Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, The Daily Show, Jimmy Fallon, all the guys that a former president wants to silence if he wins the presidential election.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've been not huge, but the whole censorship thing. It's been one of the things that I really tried to. It's a leading thought for me when I think about who I may or may not vote for or what issues I may vote on. And typically over the last few years, it's been heavy from the left, but it's starting to come from the right too. So it's just I don't know. Anyway, we're going to call it a show there. Guys, thanks again for joining us. If you have any ideas, please feel free to share them with us in the comments. We'd also love it if you would like the episode, if you like what we're doing. If you'd like to help us out even further than that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when we have new episodes. If you like to stay a little more anonymous, you are more than welcome to send any ideas, news articles, pictures, whatever. You can email us at gagepodcast@gmail.com. And I think that is about it. And one more time, happy anniversary, baby sis and bro-in-law. We're going to call it a show there. I'm going to get this music queued up so we can knock it out of the park. And we will say adios from there. Guys, have a good week. We will see you on, 2 days after Election Day, but we'll be recording on Election Day. So rock the vote, whatever you want to do. And we'll see you next time. Adios, everybody.